Ever wonder why a product sells like crazy and the other one is fighting for its survival? This is the secret to making your product different in the market. The customer jobs. Yep, it's the customer jobs. Thanks to the guys at Strategizer, which is a concept they had explained in their value proposition canvas. And I guarantee you, if you understand this, it will make all the difference in your marketing. So the customer jobs are dissected into three kind of jobs. The first one is the functional, which is basically what the product does for you. Emotional, which is basically how the product makes you feel. And the third one is the social, is how people look at you when you use this product. So when you're at the functional job of your product, basically means you're competing on things like pricing, offers, features of your product or service, etc., and things like that. But when you're operating at the functional job of your product or your service, you basically have to keep spending money on your marketing in order for the product to sell and keep cash flowing in. But when you start working on the emotional and social jobs of your product or service, then you start to build deeper connections with your customer through storytelling, through messaging, through branding, communication, so on and so forth. And this is when your product or service starts to sell like crazy and create some sort of loyalty with your customers, deep connections with your target audience, so on and so forth. Let me give you some examples. So for example, let's talk about watches. So if a watch tells you the time, then that's the functional job. But when you wear a Rolex and you start to feel very important, that's the emotional or social job of your product. For example, you could be wearing a white t-shirt, that's just a functional job. But when you wear a Nike shirt, a brand that associates itself with hardworking athletes, with getting things done, with celebrities, so on and so forth, then you start to feel a bit more different as opposed to just wearing the white t-shirt. If you understand this concept, it will make all the difference in your marketing. And as I said, it will really differentiate your product or service from everybody else who's competing in the same market.